What's up, guys? Welcome to the Here to Evolve podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Alessandra.
And we're here to evolve. If you're new to listening, we're going to hit on two main themes in this podcast: health and fitness and business. Our business perspective is pretty cool because we're not at the top of the food chain by any means, but we also didn't just start this. So we've seen a lot of success. We've done a lot of things that worked really well. We've done a lot of things that have not worked really well. We're working through that. So it's just cool if you're starting off fresh, or you're somewhere in the middle as well, and you want to hear what's happening on our side and what we've done and how we're growing. It's a unique perspective, I guess. Not a lot of podcasts out there from the middle of the road. It's usually the top of the chain, or hey, we're just starting off. Here's what we're doing. The health and fitness side, we run an online health coaching company called ST Evolution. Concept there is basically helping you filter through the bullshit. We digest the good stuff for you and feed it back to you in small bites. Making it easy, making it simple, because at the end of the day, training nutrition really is the easy part. So we focus a lot on mindset and just breaking down what you should actually be doing, teaching you how to fit these simple concepts into your lifestyle so you can maintain them for the longer term. That's what we're all about. If you have been listening for a while, you're enjoying the content, please leave us a review. Whether it's just a star rating, an actual review, subscribe to the podcast. It does help us grow. We appreciate you. We love you. What are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about the holidays, because the holidays are here, which is crazy. I cannot believe next week is Thanksgiving. We're recording this 1 week out from Thanksgiving. You guys will probably hear it in the next couple of days. And we have done this podcast in the past, but we wanted to sort of, redo it now that it's been a few years and give you some fresh perspectives and just guidance as you navigate the holidays with your families. And this is always such a hot topic in the fitness industry. You still see two sides of it. I think you see the side where it's like typical Fitspo, where, for example, during Halloween, they'll tell you have to do X amount of burpees to burn off your Halloween candy, or they'll tell you to, don't eat anything the entire day leading up to Thanksgiving, and then just go
save
crush
your
your
calories.
Food. So we are in the middle ground per usual as far as where we stand here. But
I don't even like saying the middle ground because that sounds very vanilla.
Well, there's not one right way to go about this.
There's no extreme. We're not in the extremes.
Right.
We are the sensible version.
You use the word vanilla a lot lately.
Because I don't like vanilla. It's very plain and boring, and nobody pays attention to vanilla.
What do you want to be then?
I want to be so sensible that it's extreme.
No, what flavor do you want to be?
Cookies and cream, chocolate chip cookie dough, Rocky Road, literally anything besides vanilla, chocolate and marshmallow.
Moose Tracks is me. Anyway, so yeah, we are not about the extremes on either side of training or nutrition or anything surrounding the holidays or just in general. But, our take with it and what we talk about with our clients, we'll kind of walk you guys through different scenarios, how we handle the holidays. But I think it all comes back around to mindset. And it doesn't matter if you are a macro tracker or if you're just, diving into your health and fitness journey and you're just starting to just pay attention about what you eat. You really can't fuck up from 2 or 3 or 4 days out of the whole year.
I'm going to get like a little bell or a red light that just lights up when you swear. And we'll count how many times it goes off, because you only swear on this podcast.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
Gets me fired up, I guess.
Fired the fuck up. Ooh.
Were you even listening to anything else I said?
Yeah.
All right. So I think, a lot of people tend to have this all or nothing mindset when it comes to health and fitness. So when things like the holidays roll around, it's like they're either all in or all out. And what you're doing the entire rest of the year is really what matters here. But let's say you're somebody who is sort of just starting out with your health and fitness. You want to get a head start before January, before everybody else, and really take it seriously this year. What do we tell them or advise them to do?
Start off by picking a maintainable practice. So if you're not already on a plan, figure out what that looks like for yourself, whether it's tracking, whether it's intuitive eating and just following principles of prioritizing protein and nutrients, drinking plenty of water, eating until you're full and then you stop eating, just paying attention to those internal cues and practicing those before you get to a big ass meal like Thanksgiving. If you are tracking, if you do want to follow something like the Mediterranean diet or something that's more inclusive, but just prioritizing healthy options, figure out what's going to work best for you, what you enjoy doing, what you can see yourself doing for the longer term. Don't tell yourself you're going to diet through the holidays and hey, I'm going to focus on low carbs or low fats or whatever. pick something that you can do for the longer term, start implementing it now, and then keep that balanced mindset going into the holidays so that it's not, oh, I've been restricting for the past 3 weeks, I'm going all out, because you're going to feel disgusting. You're not going to destroy everything on one day, but you're going to feel terrible. You're going to be bloated. You're going to be so uncomfortable for the next 2 days afterwards if you play that game. And then if, you do decide you don't want to eat that much on Thanksgiving, I'm not saying you're just being smart about portion sizes, but if you say, nope, I'm going to bring chicken and broccoli and that's all I'm having, you're probably not enjoying your time with your family and your friends or whatever it is that you're doing. So there is a balanced approach to that. But you do have to start that before Thanksgiving. It's going into it with the right mindset so you don't feel like you fucked up during that one meal, because you didn't. You just didn't establish the game plan prior to that.
Yeah, and a lot of our clients right now who, have been doing this, for months at this point, but we tend to advise them to not enter a fat loss phase throughout this time of year if we can. Obviously, it's going to be individualized to each client and what they have going on, but if we can just focus on maintaining through this time of year, it can really be a beneficial thing. You're focusing on your workouts, you're focusing on maintaining where you're at right now, and then maybe in a season where you have more, I don't want to say rigidness, but in a season where you can be a little bit more strict and intentional with your fat loss goals or whatever goals you have, you can then do that. So I think periodizing your nutrition goals is also really important. And if you're listening to this and you're like, well, what else is there besides fat loss? We have a whole episode on the different phases of dieting that you should listen to if you haven't yet.
But that's not to say you can't diet through this.
Right.
I have some clients who are very adherent. They have a specific plan. They want to stick to that plan, and you can absolutely navigate that through the holidays. There's just going to be more flexibility around those events. So if you have family in town for the week, maybe you take a maintenance week. If it's just Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving, and those are those specific days where there's only those events going on those specific days, it's going to be a whole lot easier for you. So you can navigate right to those. You intuitively eat for those days, enjoy yourself, and get right back to the grind. And that's the situation where it's about creating positive momentum and stopping negative momentum. So the biggest issue we see with not even just clients, but people in general, is when those negative momentum builders happen. You're off track for a day, you're off track for a couple of days, you go on vacation, you have a crazy weekend, whatever it is, you don't stop the ball right there and pick right back up where you started. You let that kind of roll into, oh, I still kind of feel like crap, I'll start next week. That can't be the case. If you're serious about your goals, if you have specific things you want to accomplish, these things are happening on these days. When this time is up, so leading up to and immediately after, you're dialed into your plan.
Yeah, a little pro tip for you guys is to, instead of grouping the holidays together as like a big chunk of things, each person is going to have different events going on, and it's going to look a lot different for every single person. So kind of take each event that you have, like look at your calendar, write down everything that you've got going on this time of year, and figure out how you can individually navigate each event instead of trying to do them all the same way. So this is something I challenge my clients to do is, we look at what's coming up this weekend. How do I want to handle this? Do I want to estimate and sort of track this meal? Do I want to just eat mindfully and not track it at all? Do I want to, weigh it out if they are in a fat loss phase and they are adamant about continuing to be really consistent and that doesn't bring them more stress? If they want to bring their food scale, fine. You have to do what's going to best fit your life, your goals, that event, and then like Josh said, don't let that whatever happened compound. Get right back to business when you can, whether that's the next day or the next couple of days based on what you've got going on, and continue to take that positive momentum and get back to your regular routine, because the sooner that you do that and the sooner that you get fiber back to its baseline and get your water intake back to its baseline and get your workouts in, you're going to just feel better, right?
Absolutely. And for those, I know a lot of people don't like generalities. So for those who do want a specific plan for that holiday or all the holidays, whatever it is you want that plan for, some general outlines. Pick out, a portion of protein. Have as many veggies as you want. Pick 1 or 2 desserts. Set, whether it's going to be the size of your fist or a small portion of a tiny plate to have a couple different things. Set that out ahead of time.
Have a drink limit.
Drink limit, absolutely. I know a lot of people like to pound the wine during Thanksgiving. Set a drink limit. Hey, I'm going to have 2 drinks. I'm going to have my serving of protein, as many vegetable servings as I want, a couple things of desserts, moderate size. and call it a day.
And then from there, also tune into how your body is feeling before, during, and after the meal as far as hunger levels go.
Eat slowly.
Eat slowly.
Chew your food.
Obviously, you're going to be conversing with people, so it's not something where you can like sit and focus on your food 100%.
It gets pretty quiet at your family's house when people start eating.
Right, maybe at my family's house, but we're going to your family's house this year.
That's
so
true. We have a different setup. We go to the strip club first, like 11 o'clock in the morning, and then we come back, take a nap, start cooking turkey, and then
my mom's probably listening to this right now.
Yeah, your mom
in her
listens
car.
to this now.
Surprise. Just
strip
kidding.
club, Thanksgiving.
No, but you have to, regardless of the situation, you can still be mindful about your hunger cues and kind of just take pause as you're eating halfway through the meal. Think, am I full right now? Am I getting to the point where I'm stuffed? Should I stop eating? Like, kind of just check in with yourself. Having those little moments of self-reflection can be so helpful. And, I think, even for me, coming from an Italian family who, we were always quote unquote pushed to finish our dinner, our plates, or whatever. You don't have to just finish it because it's there. You can tune into what's going to be best for you. And if that means leaving some food on your plate, it's okay.
That turkey's dry. Don't force it down. Tell your grandmother or your aunt, whoever made it, they didn't do good this year. They got to try again next year.
Maybe just hold that to yourself instead of starting some
Not
family
eating this dry
drama.
turkey. Give me some barbecue sauce.
No, but I think at the end of the day, just going into each event with some sort of general plan for yourself and set those guidelines and boundaries as far as what you want to do as far as food is going to be best. And just remind yourself that a few days being off plan, quote unquote, or not eating and doing your typical things is not going to mess up everything else, especially if you've been working hard the entire rest of this year. So give yourself some grace.
And let's say you do go into this with a plan and then you see the pies and you black out and you wake up and you're covered in pie mess. You didn't screw up your entire year. What the fuck are you laughing at?
Pie mess?
Pie mess. It's a mess of pie. You blacked out. You're covered in pie.
Did you just make that up? Should we put that on a shirt?
Pie mess? You're going to buy a pie mess shirt?
Maybe.
If you wake up from your pie mess and you screwed up your entire day and your plan's all fucked up, don't feel bad about it. So going back to that, stop the negative momentum building. Get right back on track with your plan. The following day, tons of water. Let yourself kind of redigest and process and settle everything down. You're going to be bloated. It's not the end of the world. You didn't actually gain 7 pounds. It's water weight.
Yeah, let's touch on that a little
break.
bit. Yeah, if you're going to weigh in the next day, understand
Don't weigh in
the
the
scale
next day.
fluctuations. Just understand them and understand. We probably have hit on this on a few podcasts. So every biofeedback factor is going to impact the scale. The scale does not show pure fat loss or gain. It's going to reflect water fluctuations mostly.
Sodium.
So make sure you're only paying attention to those weekly averages, understanding it's likely going to be a little bit higher just from eating foods that you don't normally eat every day. Sodium, less water, all that good stuff. So
More alcohol, more carbs.
at the end of the day, you guys, you just have to stay mindful, enjoy yourself, remind yourself that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Have some sort of plan going into it, that works best for you and your goals that you have. And this is a very short time of the year. It goes by super fast, and before we know it, we're going to be into January, and you're going to have that newfound motivation to crush your goals.
One day is literally less than 0.25% of the entire year. So you cannot destroy everything that's happened for the rest of the year in one single day.
We promise. We wouldn't lead you wrong.
Where can they find you?
I'm at Alessandra Skutnik.
I'm at Josh Skutnik.
Everything else is linked in the show notes. And if you do want to watch the video version of this podcast, it is on YouTube. I know a lot of you are listening in the car or on your walks, and we love that too. So
In the shower. Hello.
that is weird.
Hey.
Anyway, we will catch you guys next week. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.